Yep, and welcome to Nights Around the Fire. I'm David Tomsic, and of course, there's Sue Taylor. We're glad you can join us. And today we are going down a road seldom traveled by millions of people. And that road leads us to Fayette County. And what do we have there, Sue?
We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things because we've already talked about Bigfoot in Fayette County. But we are going to not only talk about Bigfoot tonight, we are going to talk about ghosts, and we're going to talk about aliens.
We have a friend in studio, a legendary alien cow.
Legendary.
Yeah, maybe he was beamed up to a mothership.
He does, and he doesn't want to talk about it.
Right. Okay, Sue, what is going on in Fayette County? Again, we have talked a little bit about Bigfoot in Fayette County, and I guess you have a little more Bigfoot, and it seems like we're going to check off every box we have today.
Okay, so I know this is going to surprise you and everyone else, but I read a book.
What are the odds? Sue read another book.
Yeah, we're going to have to start a Patreon just to keep me in book donations.
Keep that in mind, folks.
Okay, so this week's stories come from the Unexplained Stories, Folklores, and Legends of Fayette County, Pennsylvania, Volume 1 by Victoria Dutko Leonelli.
Okay, for those of you wondering, I'll put a map up to show you where Fayette County is. It's to basically our east, and southeast actually, I believe, and fairly big size county.
Mm-hmm.
And there are mountains. It borders some of the mountains of Somerset, which is the Laurel Mountains.
Yes, which we will talk about Somerset County in its own episode. My dog and I just came back from Fayette County, and we decided to go to the dog park and found out it was at the top of the hill in the Laurel Highlands, which is technically a small mountain.
Right. So, and you don't want to talk about it. Anyway, so Fayette County, I've been there many times. You have. I worked in Fayette County for a short time, a couple of years. Mountain folk.
Yeah.
Very much a dichotomy of things. There's the very poor, and there's Nemacolin,
That's
which is
accurate.
extremely wealthy resort owned by Joe Hardy, a knighted something or other from the lumber fortune he made here with 84 Lumber.
He died right before his 100th birthday party.
He did, and I'm going to really miss him. Anyway, what do we got, Sue?
So, and also, Fayette County is not just, there's a lot of tourist stuff in Fayette County, too. I don't recommend Nemacolin, but Seven Springs sits right on the border of Nemacolin, or not Nemacolin, of Fayette County and Somerset County. My dog and I went to Jellystone Campground.
Yes, very nice place.
There's a few other campgrounds there. There's Ohio, which we talked a lot about in our last episode. So
Falling Water?
Falling Water is there. There's something else there,
well,
too.
I know the place I go to quite often. I drive up for a ride, and a good dinner is Chalk Hill. That is at the top, almost the top of the mountain there, right outside of Uniontown, which is the biggest town and city of Fayette County. And plenty of places to eat, little places to shop. Very lovely place. Again, if you're in that area, visit Fayette County.
There is also Laurel Caverns, which we talked about in our last episode. That is a 3-mile cave system, biggest in Pennsylvania. And we had somebody write into our email this week who has done some Bigfoot exploring in this area, and he'd like to talk to us.
Well, we're looking forward to that. We love finding people with stories. Again, if you have a story, let us know. We'll get you on the air, or we'll at least interview you and put your story on the air. Hit us up at strangeworlds777@yahoo.com. We want to hear from you. Thank you for those who did send in an email.
And you guys really delivered this week, so we had a nice selection of emails when I checked in this week. So thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Once again, we're appreciative that you're watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Okay, Sue, what's your first story?
Okay, so we're going to start out with Bigfoot, but Fayette County has a lot of ghosts, which I did not get into all of the ghost stories in this book. I just picked a really good one. And it's got a lot of Bigfoot and UFO sightings. There is one particular Bigfoot and UFO incident around Uniontown that, shocker, I bought a book about it. Again, remember, we may need some donations to keep me in books here, but it will be delivered next week. I think. So, depending on how fast I can read that book.
So we're going to
One
be looking
episode.
forward to another Fayette
Yeah,
County.
we're going to go back to Fayette County with a really big alien episode, and the alien cow will not be back, but I've got a very special visitor for that one.
I appreciate that.
So that's going to get its own episode, and there is a story in this book about General Braddock. But I may do a General Braddock specific episode because he's got some ghosts and haunts around the area. He's a pretty famous guy in the area, so we might get into Braddock's ghost in his own episode.
Right. And I'm sure people are aware that all the counties in our area seem to have a plethora of stories with ghosts and Bigfoot. And there are quite a few alien stories, UFO stories as well.
There are, and we've got some interesting ones here, and kind of got a funny story with aliens.
We always like a good laugh.
Yeah. So let's get started with our first Bigfoot story. We're going to go back to the summer of 1973.
Okay.
Remember what you were doing here in Canonsburg in the summer of 73?
Yeah, I was living the 70s. I was my last year of college, 74, and I was living it up.
Nice. All right, that's a story for another episode,
Yeah.
folks. Okay, so surprisingly enough, there were a large number of Bigfoot sightings reported to the PA Center for UFO Research. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
I have not either. So apparently 73 and 74 had a lot of Bigfoot sightings in Fayette County.
Wow. Okay, so about how many?
I don't know exactly how many. This is one, and this is a good one. So you are no doubt familiar with Jumonville.
Yes.
Okay. So Jumonville is a Christian camp that is set out in Fayette County. Like we said, there's lots of camps and stuff out there. And the big feature with Jumonville is they have a gigantic 60-foot cross on top of one of their hills.
You can see it from quite a distance.
Yeah, when my family bought their farm here in 84, we got a rumor that you could see it from the farm. We never proved it, but that was always a rumor that you could see the cross at Jumonville from the farm.
Okay, well, too late to look at that.
I mean, we could still go out there. Okay, so one particular couple decide that they're going to go look for Bigfoot. They have heard about all of these Bigfoot sightings in the area. They want to see the gentleman, which, okay, you and I would probably do the same thing if there were a whole bunch of Bigfoot sightings in Canonsburg.
Right.
Okay, so they go up the dirt road towards the cross at Jumonville. In the car is the husband, the wife, the 4-year-old son, and the German Shepherd dog.
They brought their 4-year-old son on a Bigfoot hunt.
They want to experience the unexplained as a family.
Okay.
You're not going to take your grandson to see Bigfoot?
Well, I mean,
Maybe in a couple
I'm
years?
an experienced explorer. I would do that, but these rookies, I'm not so sure. But continue.
I thought that this felt like a very strange family outing, but you know
Yeah.
the 70s better than I do.
We had some burgers, we roasted some hot dogs, and we went out and searched for Bigfoot. What an afternoon.
There's not a lot to do in Fayette County in the evenings.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so they go up, and they've been up in the area by the cross for about 15 minutes. And they hear something coming. 2 teenage boys come out of the woods. They say they heard something coming up the path after them.
Coming up the path after them, and they were escaping. They were
Yes,
leaving.
Yes, they were leaving. They did not want to be a part of whatever it was. So the boys take off back down the road, off the mountain. They're getting out of there. Okay. But the boys didn't say that they saw anything. They just heard something. So, okay. So the couple listens, and they don't hear anything. So by this point, the sun is setting. And to make things weirder, a fog is settling over the area.
Okay, so you have strange noises heard by 2 boys that were on their way out. It gets dark, and a fog starts settling in on the mountain.
Right. So before I go any further, if this was where we ended the story, I would say that this fog is not necessarily weird because you're, on a mountain, maybe a little higher.
There's always fog there,
yeah,
yes.
There's fog, yeah. Let's go on.
Okay.
Okay.
Gets better?
It gets better. Okay. So the husband decides that this is a bad idea and they should go home because if the fog starts getting bad, he's not going to be able to drive in it. Okay. Now, they go back down the dirt road that they came up, and there's no fog.
Well,
Okay.
okay. I mean, you go down, the fog's at the top of the mountain, the cloud settles in. Believe me, we're not involved in predicting weather here. So I failed that year of meteorology I went to at some point in my life. So
I forgot to go to the class. I forgot to sign up for it, actually. Okay. So they get down there and they see that there's no fog. So this changes their mind. They're like, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe we can go back up. So they go back up. And this time, there's no fog.
So the fog disappears.
Yeah. Fog is gone. But now it's almost real night. Like, almost like dark by this point. Okay. So they go up and they park, like, near the cross up at Jamontville. Have you ever been up to the cross?
Yes.
Okay, I have not. So you can picture this.
Yeah,
it's
big and it's imposing. You know, and I can see being there at night. I've never been there at night. So that would be frightening.
Do they have spotlights or anything on it?
When I was there, I wouldn't know because it was not light. It was not dark. They might have spotlights on it, and I'm guessing they do. Because why wouldn't you illuminate the cross from a Christian camp? You probably did.
Probably.
But they didn't say this in their interview.
They didn't, and I'm going to assume by what happens next that there was no light up there, and I'm also going to assume that it was the 70s and they didn't necessarily think about doing things like that, whereas nowadays we would be more inclined to do something.
Yeah, we're
going
to use more energy, so put more lights in.
Yeah, and I'm guessing now they probably have cameras too. I'm guessing they probably have at least like one camera up there to make sure nobody's vandalizing.
You would think, yeah. Well, okay, so it was the 70s, so they didn't have diddly in security or lighting. So these people are literally
in the dark.
Yes.
Yes, looking for Bigfoot. Okay, so the husband hears something. So he turns on the car's headlights to see what he's seeing.
Ooh.
They see a huge creature about 8 foot tall with long, dark, matted hair from head to toe. The thing runs away into the woods. So, good job. They found Bigfoot. Nicely done, guys. Okay. Now, probably should have been enough. But they decide that they're going to stay and see if they can see it again.
Okay, so they're going to test the waters a second time.
See what they can do. Okay. So, even though it's a nice night, they decide they're going to close the windows because they figure if this creature is out there, they probably shouldn't have the window open.
You really think that window would matter to a Bigfoot?
Let's go on. So, remember, they've got the 4-year-old in the car and they've got the dog in the car. So, about this time, the dog starts to bark and growl.
Not good.
No. Okay, so the wife decides to pull her son into the front seat. So she pulls him out of the back seat into the front seat with her. And when she looks out the window, what does she see? Glowing red eyes.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Boom.
And what is attached to those glowing red eyes?
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot who has some hairy, huge hands clawing at the outside of the back window.
Okay, so they found trouble.
They found trouble. So the dog in the car is lunging at the windows to try to get to the Bigfoot who is scratching on the windows and shaking the car. So the husband turns on the car and drives off down the mountain. They get back down this dirt road. They get out of there. They've seen Bigfoot twice and they've had enough of this. So, okay. And the couple survives this incident with some dents and some scratches on their car.
That poor kid. I wonder if he now is a Bigfoot investigator.
Yeah, I wonder where this kid is now.
Yeah, he's either getting therapy still, or he's a real Bigfoot investigator. We'll never know.
He could be. I mean, I wonder if he even remembers it. Like, your parents took you to see Bigfoot. This is bigger than Santa. This is bigger than the Easter
Bunny. It's bigger than it all, right?
Yeah,
and hey,
Mouse.
They've made plenty of B-rated Bigfoot movies that this would be perfect for.
Oh, yeah, this is right out of a Bigfoot horror movie. Yeah, Hollywood pretty much wrote this one.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I guess the Bigfoot wanted him gone. Is that what we're thinking here?
That's my assumption, that he was like, you gotta go. But he went to a very aggressive route to get them out of there.
Now, again, I'm playing the devil's advocate game here. I mean, he's scratching at the car. If that Bigfoot's 8 feet tall, you're looking at maybe 1,800 pounds,
Probably.
1,500 pounds. Hands this big. He could probably take the window apart with one swing.
He could have punched right through that window.
Now, maybe he didn't want to. Maybe he was thinking, I just want to scare these people. I let them see me once. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So he was going after him. And, of course, who won that battle?
He did.
Okay. So they sent this or called the UFO group?
Yeah.
Why would they call the UFO researchers?
So I don't know what has been... I don't know where the BFRO and the PA Bigfoot Society were at this point in the game. I don't think they were existing at
Maybe
this
not.
point in the game.
And UFOs have been around a long time.
Yeah, we had to start documenting the UFOs earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Roswell pretty much kicked off all those groups very early in the 50s, right? So I would assume there is no place else to call. The BFRO was not in existence. The PA Bigfoot Society, not in existence. And many of them people not even born.
But they could report it now.
They can now.
They could put it out there now if they wanted to.
Well, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
they don't,
Maybe they don't know about it.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a pretty good one. So
Yeah,
I would
that
say
was a
that's
good
a
one.
Class A, right,
That's a Class A sighting.
right folks?
Yeah,
That's Class A. That's up front and center, face to face.
Yeah.
Mono E
Monkey.
monkey. Big, gigantic monkey.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got next, Sue?
All right, so let's go to May of 1977. Remember
Okay.
May of mid-1977?
Not really, but
Okay.
I'll take your word for it.
All right. So there's a family driving home from visiting some family. And this was in Redstone Township in Republic.
I know where Republic is.
I know. I've
been
driven
through
through Republic, yes.
Redstone Township. Okay,
Yeah,
that's where Republic is.
yes, I have driven through Republic myself.
Not a lot there.
No. So they see a huge animal standing on the side of the road. The fur was a reddish brown color, and at first the woman thought it might be a deer. It's not a deer. It's not a bear, and it's not a deer.
We're going to go through this again. Bear, not bear. Deer, not deer. Okay.
Okay. Now that we've clarified that, the creature gets scared off and goes over a 30 to 40 foot drop over the side of the road into a field.
He just jumps off?
Mm-hmm.
What? That's
Geronimo.
Wow.
So the husband and the 14-year-old son go back with flashlights to check out the field, which I always love these stories where they go back to look for the thing.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going back, Sue, I'm bringing support. I'm going to be armed. And I'm not just going back with a flashlight because I don't know that I can handle a Bigfoot myself without ending up in Ohio.
Yeah.
I like Ohio, but I don't want to end up there via
Bigfoot.
airdrop.
So they see some broken branches and a fence post that's been pushed over, but really nothing else.
No footprints?
No footprints.
Well, it's dark.
They said specifically that they did not see any footprints.
Well, you do got to do that investigation in the daylight if you're really a researcher. But okay, they had the cojones to go search in the middle of the night.
They did, and also if the ground was dry,
Yeah.
it really wouldn't show any
But
footprints.
if that thing jumped off a cliff, it would hit the ground. It would make a mark. Wouldn't you think it would leave a mark, friends?
Or would it leave a mark, or would it just like crack the earth?
Well, it'd be like the Hulk hitting the ground, you know? Boom. And it would, I mean, that's a lot of weight falling. How many feet?
30 to 40.
They said that's what they thought it was. Well, if they were accurate, that's 3 floors, almost 4 floors. That's a far way to drop.
That's a big jump.
He might have been a Bigfoot paratrooper. Okay, so what happened from there?
Okay, so that's that story, but there's another one from Redstone Township in Republic. Another local woman heard strange growling in the area. Her husband and neighbors went to check on it and saw a large brown ape-like creature.
So growling
Yes.
like this. Okay, so they saw a large ape-like creature. What did they do?
They let it be. They all decided they were going to they all went their separate ways. They also didn't find any footprints. if I'm recalling correctly.
Okay, so they did look for him?
They did, yes.
Were these reported to anybody? I guess, again, we're saying the same thing. There was no BFRO.
No, in the 70s, there wasn't really any place to report, but I guess these are just, these are stories that were reported from local people to the paper. Like, I guess the paper got a lot of them, so.
Or a police department.
Yeah. The 70s had a lot of Bigfoot sightings in Fayette County.
The 70s was filled with a lot of really crazy things. And people were more aware of paranormal things, I believe, in the 70s. I truly believe that. Today, those folks watching this video, this channel, you're among the few of the proud, the paranormal enthusiasts. We're proud of you. Okay, so definitely a Class A sighting then, right?
Yep, Class A sightings on both cases.
So we're going to be the BFRO for the 70s. We're both going to agree Class A sighting.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about some UFOs now.
Before we do, friends, again, if you enjoy our content, we are a growing channel. Legendary Kyle here, the Space Kyle, feels the same way. He doesn't have a computer, so he can't go on and like and subscribe to our channel, but you can. Please support us by hitting that subscribe button.
Squatch that like button.
That really helps us with the algorithm. And share the video. Get more and more people involved with this channel. We're trying to grow. We're trying to get more interviews. We're trying to get into more areas where we can do some research, and we can't do it without you. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share. So,
all right. So let's go back to the summer of 1947.
Wow, that's a blast from the past.
That's a big jump. Okay. So apparently there were UFO sightings everywhere in Fayette County.
Really?
Yeah. And I have not paid a lot of attention to the Project Blue Book information or any of the government files that have recently been released on the aliens, UFOs kind of deal, but I have not seen anything called out. Now, there may be some in Project Blue Book, but according to my searches, there have not been anything specifically called out in our area with the recent stuff that's been released.
Let's be honest, most of those aren't reported. Even then, but now especially, I don't think people report them with the same fervor they did in the 70s. I really do believe the 70s was a special time for people to be interested in that stuff. And if you're not, you see a UFO, you go, oh, it's a UFO, and you tell your friends. You might not call the UFO group MUFON. You may not do it, but I would. I recommend you do.
And that's, you're right. Because do you think it was driven because of the whole like space age and everybody was into the space age and they wanted to, be a part of it?
You know what? Maybe so. I believe this. I believe that in late 60s, early 70s, a lot of paranormal shows were out. Twilight Zone, which exploded people into that realm. Outer Limits, Night Gallery, a lot of paranormal shows, not spectacular ones, but ones that got people interested in the paranormal. And I believe that's why. Today, it's sort of overshadowed by Marvel and a lot of these other more modern fascinations people have with superheroes from space, not literal aliens and ghosts and Bigfoot.
Everybody still loves Bigfoot.
Everybody still loves the big man.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're on the wrong channel. We all love the big man. We support him. Kinsu, UFO.
So 47, this is just one other point on this, is this was still right after the World War II.
Right.
So this might still have been fears of attack or something like that. So you might have had more reports at this time because people were still afraid somebody was going to come over here and bomb us.
Yeah, there was a big psychosis about that back in the day. Everybody, the Cuban Missile Crisis. Mm-hmm. Later on, in the 60s, everybody had a place to hide because they thought it was the end of the world. So, yeah, I can imagine after World War II, we had the big bad Soviet Union as our enemy, and people were afraid there was going to be a war. And, of course, there were a lot of shows that played on that, right? Back in the 60s and 70s. So, friends, if you got time, go back and watch some of those late 60s sci-fi movies. Some are well done, some aren't, but you'll get an idea of what Sue's talking about here.
Okay, so this particular sighting, a gentleman in North Bell Vernon, which I forgot was in Fayette County until this week, actually picked up a UFO that landed 3 feet in front of him. So, like, physically picked it up.
What was it, like a probe?
We've got a good description here. So he said it was zooming around and it landed in 2 pieces in front of him. And they described it as looking like a makeup compact. And they said it was 3 inches across. It had hinges and a catch on one side. It was grayish white with a glazed finish. One piece had a dark spot about the size of a quarter that looked like a burn, as well as a blob of what looked like sealing wax.
I got nothing.
And picture like a makeup compact.
So this was in 2 pieces? It crashed?
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying?
Yeah,
It crashed?
and it was small.
Was it hot?
He didn't say. I guess if he could handle it, I guess not.
Well, I mean, that baffles me. It really does. I mean, but it was flying.
Yes.
It wasn't just like falling.
No, it was.
It was under control for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it just crashed.
So it could have been a probe.
It could have been.
Because there were no other type of technology back then. There weren't any drones, right?
No, it wasn't. It couldn't have been a drone. It was a weather balloon because it's always a weather balloon.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Okay. Weather balloon, not a weather balloon. One more time. Weather balloon, not a weather balloon. Just so those of you who are confused or friends of yours that like to say that everything's a weather balloon, it wasn't.
It's not a weather balloon, no. So they actually sent it to Pittsburgh to analyze it.
Really?
But the book does not say what the actual findings were of it.
Well, maybe they never released them.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe but maybe there is a Project Blue Book out there. Maybe there's a government thing out there somewhere.
If you out there know anything about this, send us an email. Let us know. We'd like to maybe clarify this if you have any information. Thank you.
So another woman in Connellsville was looking out her window when she saw 13 luminous discs hovering over her yard. She said they looked like moons, but they were only brighter, and they didn't have a particular pattern or fashion. She asked her husband about the experience. She told her husband about the experience, rather, and she didn't tell anybody else, but then she started to read about them being seen by other people.
These weren't flares.
No.
That's another common prop people use. They're flares. Flares don't fly, but not for long. So other people did see them.
Other people saw them, yes.
Okay, here's the thing, folks, and Sue, we just kind of went through a couple things that I've never heard of before, and I've heard a lot. Now, they were discs?
Discs, yes.
Okay, we've seen discs, but 8 small discs? Were they small or were they big?
They were,
Were they in the sky and they were like, or they were in her yard and they were small?
They were hovering over her yard, and I think they were kind of like, they were like reasonably sized. They weren't like little tiny ones. They were like,
okay, once again,
steering wheel sized.
Okay, so I've never heard of discs that size throughout all the research we've done, nor have I heard about the compact non-makeup disc that crashed in this guy's yard. So should we consider this part of UFO lore, or should we consider this an anomaly? Something, because everybody says a UFO disc, people are in it.
I don't think these were big enough for people to fit in
Right,
them.
so unless they're tiny people, which puts us in a whole new realm.
The Great Gazoo could have fit into those. Marvin the Martian might have been able to fit into those.
So, okay, so this is an anomaly. This is unusual even for UFO sightings.
Right.
Okay.
Both of these are. But with that compact one, there was some alien family that has not stopped talking about the time that great-grandpa lost great-grandma's compact on that one visit he took to Earth.
Yeah, they looked everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what other explanation is there?
There's not one.
Okay, so what else, Sue?
We're going to talk about one of our favorite topics right now, Sunday, October 30th, 1938. You know where I'm going.
Yes.
You know where I'm going. War of the Worlds, my friends. War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds.
Okay, now just for a reminder, because we've talked about War of the Worlds before, the announcer said multiple times it was just a play, it wasn't real, but while the play was in place and going on, chaos was going wild across the country.
Yeah, they believed, those of you that don't know the whole story, maybe he does, but that play, Orson Welles wrote and basically acted in it with others. Fantastically done. You can still hear that on YouTube. You can find it.
I need to go listen to it.
It is
I've never listened to it entirely.
1938.
38.
Think about that. And it scared the country to death.
Can you imagine if you were one of the people who had started listening to it at the beginning and your neighbors had come in like midway through and your neighbors are outside like running around their house in terror and you're
With shotguns.
Would you guys shut up? We're trying to listen to the radio in here. Or like the next, like later you come out that night and your neighbors are packing their car to run and you're like, what? Like, there's no marsh. He literally said it was all fake.
Now, in defense of those people, if you missed it, or if you kind of glossed over it thinking it was part of the broadcast, that maybe, but imagine today, today, same broadcast, maybe it's real. We're being attacked. People wouldn't get off their phones. They would stare at their phones until it was too late. So we have, I think, 180-degree dichotomy there. We have people back in 38 thinking, oh my God, aliens have attacked. Mm-hmm. And here today, no.
No. So this chaos that was reigning that night did not miss Fayette County, Pennsylvania.
Well, of course not.
People claimed to see a spaceship land and creatures climbing out of it. One man later said he had to talk his wife out of unaliving herself because she didn't want to be taken captive by space creatures.
Why would she worry about maybe they're good people? Maybe they were there to help her. Maybe she would have enjoyed being part of the space community.
Maybe. New Jersey residents were packing up their families and their lives and fleeing to Pennsylvania to take safety.
You're not wanted here.
So around 9, the show ends, and people see that there aren't any Martians, and the world is not ending, and things start to calm down.
There was an investigation, and they really went after Mr. Wells. But he did say,
I told you people it wasn't real. Like, it's not my fault.
and these same players are on all the time doing plays on the radio. And again, very talented. I would enjoy listening to that thing today if they had that. If they had people that would go on the radio and actually act these out with pans and to make all the noises. They did it all by themselves. And it took talent, except it fell short of making people understand that it's not real. But so we got off track there.
We're still going. We're still on War of the Worlds.
Okay.
So this was October 30th that this happened. The next day was Halloween.
All Hallows Eve.
Yes. And the Fayette County Halloween Parade is scheduled.
Oh, my.
For October 31st, 1938.
What could go wrong?
Well, the law enforcement in Fayette County knew exactly what could go wrong, and they put a stop to it by saying that no one would be allowed to join the parade dressed as a space creature.
Smart. Wow, smart.
Yeah. So that was my funny story for the night. I thought that we talk about War of the Worlds a lot, so I like that Fayette County had to tell people in 1938 not to dress as space creatures in the Halloween parade.
I mean, you could, but we don't know what would happen to you.
Yeah.
Because they all got shotguns. You're not going to find a home in Fayette County that pretty much doesn't have some kind of firearm.
Yeah.
So be careful.
Yeah.
And don't shoot at the aliens.
No, that's a very bad idea. All right, so lastly, we are going to wrap up with a ghost story.
Okay.
Okay.
I know Fayette County's haunted. Oh, my Lord, is it haunted?
Oh, yeah, it is. And so we're going to talk about a house that was once called Elmcrest.
Elmcrest.
Elmcrest, that's in Uniontown, which is an old town itself. It's got older buildings. And its exact address is 115 Oakland Avenue, which you can pull up on Google Maps, but you can't see a whole lot of the house. And you'll see more why you can't, like, in a few minutes.
Okay.
So Elmcrest was built for a businessman by the name of Thomas Lackey. It had 15 rooms, and one bedroom had a master switch that turned off all the lights in the entire house at one time.
Why?
Can you imagine if you were having a party and you were like, these people won't leave? And so you just go up there and you're like, whoops, power's out. Guys, guess you gotta go.
I guess he was
Sorry.
thinking ahead there.
Yeah, that's smart.
Okay.
Okay. So in the 1920s, it was purchased by a lawyer by the name of Robert Playford. He and his family lived in the house, and it was him and his wife and his daughters. So Attorney Playford had what we in 2026 would call anxiety. And this is my diagnosis, not the book's diagnosis. Attorney Playford stressed about problems he didn't have.
He was a hypochondriac?
That was probably part of it. He was really worried about, like, losing money and, like, not having any money and being poor and all this stuff. And he didn't realize that, like, he wasn't poor. Like, other people were poor.
Yeah.
They had lost everything, and he wasn't poor. But he was stressing himself out about this stuff. And it was so bad that this guy was so stressed out. Like, it wasn't just, like, dude, Robert's got to calm down. Like, he's kind of annoying. He was so stressed out that everybody was like, he needs to take a break. Like,
Time out.
he needs to take a vacation because he is going to drive himself nuts with these emotional issues.
Okay.
Which is, in 2026, would be a mental health issue. But
Back
in
then, take a vacation.
1929, yeah, take a vacation. Which, okay, sometimes that's the answer. So, November 13th, 1930. The maid also lives at the house with the family.
Yeah, he was worried about money and he could afford a maid.
Right. So the maid gets up early to pack the clothes and the lunches because the Playfords are leaving on that vacation that day. So he can afford a maid, he can afford a big house, and he can afford a vacation. So...
In 1930.
Yes. The heart of the Great Depression.
Yeah, he was hurting.
Yeah, Bob didn't have as many problems as Bob liked to think he did.
You're right.
Yeah, okay. So, the maid hears some noises, and she thinks it's just the radiators upstairs making noises, which can confirm I have radiators. Radiators make weird noises.
I've had them in the past.
Yeah.
I grew up in a big old house that had them. Yeah.
Yeah, they make weird noises. So the maid goes upstairs to wake the family, and she finds that Attorney Playford has unalived himself and his family.
Wow, that's a lot.
So he was obviously having some sort of extreme mental duress. Not like, okay, like he's a little worked up about something. Like he was having like real mental distress about something.
Was he unalived?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Okay.
Yeah. So the house proceeded to sit empty, but that didn't stop the rumors from saying that it was haunted, because obviously it's got this now terrible history.
There's a good chance, right?
Yeah, and I'm going to save what I was going to say for a few more minutes. Okay, so people claim to hear children laughing, but there are no children around.
That frightens me most of all.
Somebody bought the house, and they didn't last terribly long in it, and so lots of rumors came around this place until the house was purchased as a home for the Franciscan Friars of the Holy Savior Custots.
Okay.
It is no longer called Elmcrest. It is now called St. Anthony of Padua Friary. And now everyone says it is definitely not haunted.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I can go with that.
Okay. Well, so here are my questions. Now, is it not haunted because that's tied to the religious aspect? Is that not haunted because monks don't believe in ghosts? Is it not haunted that the property has been rebranded as something else and people can't talk about it anymore? Like,
Or all the above.
all of the above, right?
Listen, I don't know that the monks don't believe in ghosts. I don't know that that's a solid 100% true fact for each monk. So, okay, there's that. The monks, because of maybe the fact that they wouldn't talk about it even if they heard it, would say that the house isn't haunted. That's probably also could be true. Or it was not haunted in the first place.
Right, right. It could be any of those things. Like, or was this just a campfire story that people were telling?
Sure.
Because something bad happened in the house, and they had to tell the story.
Yeah, I mean, it started out the fact that there's a good chance that it could be haunted because there was a very, very nasty thing happen in that house. Residual energy.
Yeah, and which causes hauntings, as we know.
But I guess we'll really never know.
We'll really never know. And people that have toured it since then say that it does not feel like a haunted house.
Yeah, but we talked about this on our investigation at the Foundry. I think it was Betsy that asked that, and Ken mentioned that doesn't mean anything. What you feel is haunted. It doesn't necessarily mean it is or it isn't. That everybody has a different way of experiencing these things. So, quite frankly, I mean, the religious aspect could play a part in it, I'm sure. I mean, ghosts, I don't believe, want to be challenged with eternity. So either they move on or they have to find eternity. Maybe that's it. I'm just throwing my opinions.
I think it's partially how you market it, because I stayed at a bed and breakfast in Savannah, and they, without my requesting it, without my knowledge, they put me in the most haunted room in the place. And it was a beautiful room. You would walk into that room and you would not think for a second that that room was one of the most haunted places in there. Like, it was beautiful, it was modern, it had a fancy bathroom, all this stuff. So if you had just put somebody in there and not told them that it was haunted, then they wouldn't have had any idea. Like, but if you put somebody in like an old abandoned house, they go, oh, well, it must be haunted because
True. Yeah, it
creepy.
is. Part of it is the psychology to it.
Yeah.
You're more aware or you're not aware. You're more have heightened sense of alertness or you don't. What happened in the bed and breakfast?
I didn't see anything. I didn't experience anything. Well, the only thing that was weird was I was very sure that I had packed my shampoo that was in the shower. And when I got home, I could not find my shampoo. I had no idea where my shampoo was. Looked everywhere for my shampoo. And then when I went back through my bag a few days later, it was in my cosmetic bag where it was supposed to be.
What do you think, folks?
It was
Again,
weird enough that I messaged my two fellow ghost-loving friends and said, who were also there that weekend. Because one of them was getting married there. She got married in the
Oh, that's nice. Savannah's a beautiful city.
Yeah.
Very old city. A lot of things happening in Savannah.
Yeah.
You know.
Lots of stories about Savannah.
So, in your opinion, it's possible.
I think it's possible. I think it's possible.
It's the one thing we found on being on a couple of ghost investigations that you don't know what to expect. Maybe they're haunted, maybe they're not. Maybe those spirits that haunt that particular building or room decide not to or can't be involved with you that day or that week. We don't know. We still continue to look and search, right? So let us know your opinion. So if you have some stories such as these, let us know in our email, strangeworlds777@yahoo.com. Sue picks them up. We'll read it on the air. Personal stories are always best.
Yes.
We're talking firsthand is always better than someone telling a story that someone else told, although those can be fun too around a campfire. Also, if you have a ghost story that you want to go on the air with personally, we can arrange that. Let Sue know on the email. We want to hear your story firsthand. We have a video coming out about our own town, Cannonsburg. We did a July 3rd video. We went through some of the shops that we know are haunted, that have been certified haunted by Ghostbusters, by our paranormal ghost friend Ken, and by people who work there or own the building. And we're going to show you that video probably next week. And there are some really interesting stories there. So again, firsthand stories are always best, I believe.
Yeah. And speaking of the businesses in town, I am wearing one of our new shirts that you can purchase at the Cannonsburg Collective if you want to show your love for Bigfoot and Cannonsburg.
They're going fast. So if you're in the area, stop by the Collective. You'll enjoy that shop. Great shop. Megan does a nice job there of presenting a lot of new products. That's one of the shirts for Cannonsburg, and we'll appreciate you supporting our fellow people, our fellow small
businesses.
Right. We love supporting them in any way we can. So Fayette County is an interesting place. It is historic, a lot of historic places there. That's, of course, where the battlefield is.
Which we need to make a trip to at some point.
Right, for necessity. And you can imagine those were always interesting to investigate. And, of course, we believe that every county in this area has their own story. And we're going to go through all the counties as much as we can for Bigfoot, UFOs, and aliens. So we want you to stay with us. Do that by subscribing to the channel.
Squatching that like button.
That helps on the algorithm, get more people involved. And share the video. And hit that bell icon. That'll get you notified when we release a new video. And we want you to be one of the first to watch it. Again, Sue, any final comments?
No. We are looking forward to getting our first-hand Bigfoot accounts from Fayette County on the channel. So, Dwayne, I'll be back in touch with you.
Well, we're happy to give you as much Bigfoot as you can receive out there, friends. Thanks for watching again. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time right here on Nights Around the Fire.
Bye, guys.